Imagine waking up on a Monday and finding out the silent pillar of the Bears' offense might cross the most forbidden border in the NFC North. You feel your stomach flip just thinking about it? That's exactly how Hollis Hall sounded in the last few hours. Phones buzzing, glances exchanged, words whispered, and the clock cruel racing against us. If you're a diehard Bears fan, take a deep breath now, because the name on the table is far too big to pretend it's nothing. Cole Kmet, the tight end who became the safety valve, the first down, chain mover, the glue of the huddle, and the destination. Brace yourself, the Green Bay Packers. Before you scream, think with me. How many times has this century-old rivalry tried to play tricks on us? How many conversations that sounded like jokes ended up as headlines? The question isn't whether it hurts. It's whether we're ready to face the scenario no one wants to face. Because when a rumor is born in the right place, with the right people, it stops being noise and becomes direction. And this script has elements that make way too much sense. Tactical fit, market timing, the rival's need, contractual levers, and yes, narrative. Narrative is the sport's gravity, and it pulls. Let's go to the field, because a good rumor only lasts if it holds up on the whiteboard. Kmet is the Tay who lets the offense breathe on 2nd and 8 and punishes the red zone with a crossing route, right on the linebacker's chest. He blocks like a grown man in duo, seals the edge on outside zone, protects the interior when the pass rush bites, and on the next snap, sells play action like a seasoned actor. In between, he's got steady hands for dig, stick, choice, and that counter-step option that breaks down zone coverage. In Green Bay, this mode is plug and play, heavy play action, an escape route to the flat, and a seam option when the safety drops down nosy. The rival's offensive coordinator lives on stacking looks that force a linebacker to be right twice on the same play. A reliable T is the screw that tightens everything. Now the part nobody wants to say out loud. Timing. The Bears are in a build cycle where every dollar and every snap has to produce visible growth. The Packers, on the other hand, love to fish in a neighbor's pond when the profile fits their system. It's their philosophy: take from the opponent a piece that, besides adding to your puzzle, subtracts from theirs. That messes with the standings, with the locker room, with the fans' morale. And it messes with you, already picturing that 3rd and 6 throw at Lambeau. Snow falling, and Kmet cradling the ball wearing green and gold. It hurts because it's plausible. What about Chicago? It's not like the Bears are sitting on their hands. People are working 24/7 to protect, adjust, and anticipate scenarios. But the game is chess, not checkers. There are clauses, windows, numbers that need to line up with the cap today and the cap tomorrow. That's where the rumor finds fuel, when the rival's technical fit combines with the moment's math. If you think this is exaggeration, remember how many times we've seen pieces move on the division board and suddenly a whole season changes color. History matters. Bears versus Packers is Shakespeare in pads. Heroes, villains, plot twists. We've seen running backs switch to the other jersey, wideouts stirring the rivalry impressors, defenders exchanging that look of "now I'm your headache." What makes Kmet sting differently is the symbolism, homegrown development. Chicago face, blue-collar DNA. Fans see themselves in him, and that's why the mere possibility moves so much. When the base feels something essential might leave the building, everyone goes back to asking, what is, after all, the master plan? Game plan. Without Kmet, the offense changes. Without the Tay, who keeps the box honest? The opposing defense gets a license to toy with nickel, disguise blitz, jam RPOs, and neutralize play action. With him up there, in enemy land, the symmetry flips sides. It's chain-moving routes on 3rd and short, tractor-grade blocks to open outside zone, and an anchor in protection when the edge rips inside. And you know what else? Silent leadership. The kind of guy who bumps fists with OL and WR, calls the adjustment in the huddle, and steadies the violent drive that starts stumbling. If your palms are sweating, breathe. There's more. The rumor gets juice right in the middle of need charts. The Packers crave between the number security when the weather turns, and a high-level blocking TE is premium currency in the frozen north of December. For them, it's an immediate upgrade with a psychological effect across the division. For us, it's a double hit. It takes from our playbook and hands it to theirs. If that doesn't give you chills, I don't know what does. Now let's talk like we're in the front seat. Why would a move like this happen? Because the NFL is a business before it's a soap opera. There are contract cycles, roster priorities, competitive windows that sometimes don't align perfectly. When they don't, the market smells and attacks. Green Bay historically doesn't waste a chance to put a hand where it hurts the rival. Most, they don't just sign. They change the tone of the conversation. Picture the presser, restrained smiles, calculated lines that "we respect Chicago" said with a mischievous glint. You've heard it before. You've hated it before. And that's why it's scary, because you recognize the script. On the field, the marriage is clean. Kmet can line up in line in 12 personnel, drop to wing and act as a lead blocker on counter, or split to the slot to punish a heavy linebacker mismatch. On quick game, he becomes the QB's metronome. Hitch, stick, quick out. In the intermediate, he threads the seam against cover 2. In the red zone, he sells the block, slips behind, and turns it into 6. All that without skipping the dirty work, which, let's be honest, is what a stadium respects. Green Bay sees that package and thinks, exactly what our offense needs when the wind shifts. And you know what happens when the rival finds your perfect adjustment. Okay? Enough dancing around the edges. You want to know if it's real. Here it is. Yes, there's movement. There are calls, checks, people mapping pathways. If you ask me today, the chance isn't July fantasy. It's probability with variables. Are there pieces that need to move? Yes. Numbers that need to fit? Always. But the rumors water has changed temperature. And when it heats up, either we dive in with strategy, or we get shoved out of the pool. No, it hurts to imagine. But a smart fan looks the monster in the eye. If it happens, what do the Bears do the next day? The answer needs to be ready yesterday. Double snaps for a second tay. Redraw 11 personnel packages. Put more emphasis on condensed motion to create artificial leverage. Use running backs into the flat to pull nickel defenders and open the middle. On defense, you have to punish the X player. Force edge of assignment blocks. Take away his favorite throwing lane. Live and dime and change the picture pre-snap. Rivalry is also won with cold blood. Now the heart. Kmet represents what Chicago wants to be for a lot of people. Physical, honest, unglamorous, efficient. Soldier Field's culture applauds players who bleed yards in shut-up January. Losing that symbol to your biggest rival would be a scar that takes a long time to heal. And for that reason, the front office knows that if there's a way to avoid it, they will. The question is whether how and how much meet on the same timeline. Breathe. Look at the clock again. The market won't wait. The division won't wait. The league won't wait. And with each minute that passes, someone flips another light in the war room on both sides of the border. If you want me to nail it down, in the middle of this video, I already said, there's momentum, there's appetite, there's a plan on their side, and a dilemma on ours. That's why, on this channel, we treat it as serious and immediate, no cheap soap opera varnish. And the conclusion? Transparent, like always with you. This script is part of our Rumors and Scenarios segment. Yes, I let you feel the weight of a "this is happening" because the conversation got louder. Yes, I show why it makes tactical sense and why it hurts emotionally. But until pen hits paper, it remains speculation hot, plausible, strategic. But still speculation, my personal opinion. Chicago must do absolutely everything within the plan to keep Cole Kmet at home. If it takes creative structuring, do it. If it takes moving early at another position to open space, move. Because if he leaves, the division doesn't just gain a tay, it gains a narrative against us. And narrative, as you know, is what turns an autumn Sunday into a memory you don't forget. There's also the community component. Chicago sees itself in trench workers, in mud boots football. Losing a symbol of reliability to the rival reopens old wounds and feeds the enemy's stands with fresh fuel. That's why this debate isn't trivial. It's not just cap. It's identity. And identity is what holds up in January when the wind cuts your face and every snap is a slice of history. So if the front office keeps Kmet, it signals to the locker room in the city that the plan is solid and the house is protected. If they don't, they'll need to tell the story on the field with wins that silence the taunts and turn the rumor into nothing more than the prologue of a rivalry. We insist on flipping in our favor. Stay with me to the end. The phone can ring at any moment. And when it does, you'll be ready not just to react, but to understand why. We don't sell smoke here. We explain the fire. And today, my friend, the fire is burning right at the center of the NFC North map.